Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures, and today feels like definitely something obscure, just for the fact that this is a licensed model kit from SNK, coming to us from Degenerator Industry, based on Athena Asamiya's design for King of Fighters 14. I'm like, now, here's where it gets really obscure, and I know it's in the games, but this kit, and it's quite a long box, actually has both her regular, battle uniform, but then we have the combat form, which is a throwback to the original Athena game from, like, the mid-'80s that SNK did before they did, I want to say, after Ikari Warriors, before Victory Road, sometime in that time, maybe 86, 87, I could be way off. But I remember playing the original game years and years and years ago, and she's something that's kind of showed up, as SNK's mascot over the years. So it's kind of fun and interesting to see. And I do like the fact that we basically have two variable forms to Athena here. So, I mean, I'll admit it, back in, like, King of Fighters 94, 95, Yori Yagami, I used to rock it with him. His team was always fun. But I grew up playing all the SNK fighters, so Athena's always been around in King of Fighters in one form or another. So this is kind of a cool, funky kit. I have no idea how big. There's no mention of scale anywhere. Everything is basically in Chinese, except for our, I'm not even going to attempt the German Erstikung I don't even know. Peligro de asfixia. I'm gonna choke on it. Anyway, so I haven't even opened it. Look, it's still sealed. You can see the seal on it. I'm going to break the seal. We are unsealing the tomb. You guys are seeing this firsthand with me right now. Yeah, this is kind of cool that it's actually a licensed kit. I'm all for licensing. Every now and then, I mean, there's plenty of miniatures on here that are obviously homages and creative artistic interpretations, and I mean, I'm cool with that. But, with this kind of stuff, it is nice to see. It's a bit of a gray area. Some people are quite adamant in it. Some people are against it. Some people are all for it. But, it is nice when we go through the proper channels. So, we have pretty chunky sprues. I gotta say, the material itself feels kind of heavy in this bag. I'm gonna pop them open here in a moment. We'll show you everything a little bit more closely. Quite a lot of color separations. Good God, at those tiny yellow stars having to be dealt with. Fun. As is typical with a lot of these girl model kits, you do have both unpainted and already stamped faces. So if you want to do the eyes and face yourselves, good luck. You have my blessings. I'm not going to even attempt it. More various parts. Clear pieces. That's kind of cool. I'm going to say these are like the under pieces of the clothing that then the more brightly colored stuff is going to connect to. And then we've got doubles of at least the white pieces in there. I've never built anything from Degenerator Industry, so this is going to be kind of an interesting one for me. Whoa, something fell. Oh, part correction. Okay, well, that's always appreciated. I mean, it looks like she's going to be a cool-looking model when she's done. More than likely, I'm going to have her done in the combat form. To me, that's just more interesting. Sorry if you like schoolgirl uniforms. I'm not into the whole Seifuku look. Having had a shop for my own kids' Seifuku before, no thanks. Been there, done that. You have to have it from a certain store, certain quality, and yeah. My kids did actually attend school in Japan at various points in their academic careers. Okay, I mean, this is pretty straightforward how it's looking. There's no word. Oh my god. Oh, okay. All those tiny stars were going to be for all of the various hands, of which there are a lot. Okay. That's kind of cool, though. It's nice that they're that thorough. I'm wondering how many parts are going to be left over. Good size base to build for her. I don't know what all those little circles are on it. They're little flying weapon bit things. And then you can have all of the effect parts going around it, making the shields, making the swords. There's a lot you can do with it, and I'm assuming that somewhere on the base there's going to be a spot, hopefully, to attach for the bits. I don't know. See, it just says step 9. Step 9 going back here. Ah, there's 2 of these stands. Okay. That's good to know. And here you're going to see an example of the various eyes. Having built enough of these kind of girly kits, you do tend to end up with a lot of them. I'm not going to bother wasting my time. 1 is enough. I am most intrigued with this first bag we saw. Pop it open. Plastic quality feels decent enough. You can see all the nice translucent base stuff. Okay, so it looks like these are going to be the pegs that we can attach the finished holding, manipulating arm. I'm kind of curious if it's going to be compatible with some of the Bandai ones. Of course, all my bases are at work, but we'll see. If I'm slow enough about building this, I might be able to pull some with me. I'm just kind of curious if this is like a universal-sized piece that I can use some of the other base attachments from other companies as well. Here we have the blue effect parts. I was most curious about this, her hair. So check it out. The hair was actually in its own little bag, and it's a bit more rubbery. Huh. Interesting. Whenever it comes to these kinds of rubbery pieces, I always strongly suggest wash it. I don't know why. It's just habit, perhaps. And it looks like we're going to have enough to build 2 heads of hair. Yeah, there's 4 ponytails here. So I don't know. I don't know if there's enough to build both. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up that you get 2 actual kits for the price of 1. But I bet if you get creative, you might be able to do something about it. There's all the hands. Also, the hands are in a soft rubber, but that seems to be pretty typical for these types of models. And you can see some of the already finished faces. Looks like the same ones. But I guess if you're really into that. Too much work for me! So, alright. I'm going to give this a shot, and we will see the results. And hopefully, by the time I'm done, there's still some of these kits laying around on the internet for you guys to find. Because, haha, good luck trying to find it in person. If you do, kudos to you. You've got an amazing store to shop at. So, sit tight. We'll see how she turns out. So, we got Athena all finished up. If she wants to cooperate with me, at least in terms of getting posed. And overall, joints, everything works pretty nice. Not too much a little loose there. Definitely a little bit of room for improvement. But we do, in fact, have enough pieces to build Armored Athena as well. So that's always nice. I like when you have enough stuff to end up building a completely extra model. Very cool in that regard. The only thing is, there are definitely some design decisions that I did not like. The joint construction, especially on the waist, on the skirts, on both of them was weird. Didn't really want to cooperate. I don't trust it. We're going to be careful with those. Her ribbon on her regular idle mode does not want to stay on. I'm going to have to glue it on later. The other thing is the hands. The hands are soft rubber as the camera goes crazy there. And they don't really want to grip anything very well, and I get really worried posing them and moving them around. because I'm just afraid that rubber's going to rip. You can see here she has to have both hands in order to hold the sword there. If I move one hand off... Okay, now you're going to cooperate. Nice. And what's interesting is the hands themselves are actually the exact same. You get a double set, and she doesn't want to stand, so we'll just go ahead and grab the base here. And I was talking about the hands, but we'll talk about the base. So she has a bunch of these little bits that are included, and you're supposed to be able to remove that yellow part, and I found it practically impossible once it gets in there. And they have a couple of configurations, so if you've played enough King of Fighters, you know she can throw the fireball attacks with her psychic soldier powers, which is what's going on right there. You have the parts to make a sword out of one of them, and then a shield as well, and then you can put them on the base. I just got this attachment. As usual with these types of models, the fact that the contact points with the ground and the bottoms of the feet are so tiny, it becomes quite difficult to get things attached. Not attached to stand up, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. So when I was talking about the skirt armors, this little peg is actually what's keeping the armor attached in the front and the back. One fell out back there, and it actually has to go through 2 layers of parts, which is kind of crazy. And I don't know why that part back here, I guess. With all the undercuts that this thing had, which were quite a few, I thought I got rid of most of them, but obviously I'm going to have to go back and do some more work there. We're having that version with a Bandai 30-minute sister, along with a 1/144th Gundam, along with a Kamen Rider, just to give you guys a good sense of scale of how big these are going to be, and a random frame arms girl who doesn't really like to stand up. Because I have her handy, and I don't know if I've ever finished the video on her, the MS General Blacksmith. I'm going to take this stupid apron of hers off. Ooh, and I'm totally busting up the model. Okay, fine. Here. We'll put this one since it can actually stand. Not that you can see her. A crazy flag in the way. So, I mean, the fact that she is a teenage girl versus a full-grown adult versus, I don't even know what scale some of these are, and these are like 1/10, 1/8, 1/12 maybe. They're all over the place, but you can see, I think, if you have a lot of different models of this style, she will fit in pretty good, both in her regular pop idol attire and in super heroic hyper mode. The fact that you get both in the kit, as I said, was a pretty nice deal, and it's pretty reasonably priced. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of work that needs to be done still, but I don't mind, and I probably would be willing to put the time and effort into it and take a look at some of the other stuff that MS General has done as well. So, not a bad kit overall. The fact that I do need to actually paint the hands, because the hands, as you can see, and I said they're just a generic hand. She's supposed to be wearing gloves in both version. Schoolgirl Idol version supposed to be purple, and then armor mode supposed to be black. You do have enough for both, but they're just pretty general and plain. And then there's enough of the little fancy coverings. She's got stars in that mode versus the transparent parts on that one. So there you have it, folks. I mean, it's a nice little kit. I would definitely take a look at it if you happen to come across it, especially for a reasonable price. reasonable prices. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that always helps. So I will be keeping my eyes peeled for future models from this brand, and hopefully if you guys see some, don't feel afraid to give them a try. So with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.